have with us Ms. Anju Virmani, Corporate Director, and someone who's had a very illustrious career in Canada. Ms. Virmani, thank you so much for speaking to NDTV.
It is a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Ma'am, my first question to you is, as someone who's been so successful in Canada, how do you see the diaspora journey and the connect between the very vibrant Canadian-Indian diaspora and India here?
That's an amazing connection. You know, just because you leave India doesn't mean we lose our connections. We have our families, we have our culture. You know, I left India 50 years ago and I keep coming back. So, and this time as a special invitee. So it's the connections are amazing and they're from the soul, so you don't really lose them. And it's an opportunity for us to connect, collaborate, and learn from each other, and contribute to each other's prosperity.
As someone who's very closely involved in the Canadian society as well, I have to ask you this, how things have been shaping up the last couple of months in Canada as well, the political landscape and so on and so forth. How do you see that? Someone who's pretty much sailing in two boats, someone who's Indian but also, of course, Canadian.
Yeah, so I'm not a politician and I don't know all the facts. I just hear what the media reports. It makes me very sad. That's all I can say. It makes me really sad to see that the people-to-people connection is getting lost. The politics, the diplomacy will take care of itself. You know, it's a matter of time. People will figure out, negotiate, whatever they need to do. But from a people-to-people basis, I know of people who want to go to weddings in Canada. From here, they don't get visas. People from India, from Canada, who want to come back to visit their families, who are, you know, some are not in good health and they're not able to get visas. So that's the disappointing part. I think the people-to-people connection will probably overcome the political agenda. I don't know what that is.
Students are getting impacted, everybody's getting impacted.
It's a policy failure on many levels, at least on you know, I see a lot of Canadian students. It's a very sad situation because they've been from what I hear from the media, they come with big dreams and things have not worked out for them. So it's a very sad situation, and I wish that our policymakers will do the right thing.
As a successful Canadian Indian woman, how do you feel the prospects of Miss Anand right now in the leadership race? It makes me very proud, but I want to ask you that.
I know Miss Anand. I've known her for a while, and she's a very bright, intelligent, wonderful woman. On a person-to-person level, you know, she's amazing, intelligent, what you need, and I hope she'll put her name put her hat in the race. You know, put her
hat in the ring. Yes.
Put her hat in the race, and I respect her tremendously. Yes.
And do you think that it is people like her, or it's, you know, diaspora stories like hers that could really make and build the bridges between India and some of the other countries, and that's what we are really looking at here as well?
I think being a diaspora person, whether it's Indian or any other country, it's particularly challenging because you're constantly torn between, you know, where your loyalties are, and it can sometimes become cloudy. But I think it's beautiful that building bridges comes not just from politicians, but from policy making and diplomacy. And once you see that there's collaboration and that it's a win-win for two parties, that's what works. So we have to find means and ways and be creative and innovative in our approaches, and that's through cultural exchanges, events like this, where people have the ability to collaborate and learn from each other. After all, knowledge is power, you know, so the more you share, I really believe, you know, knowledge is given to us to be shared. So when you teach and you mentor young people, which is what I do right now, it's an amazing story.
And finally, let me, you know, ask you this, that in terms of the Canada-India relations, it's been a huge success, but right now it's seeing some of its most challenging times. Going forward, how do you see those reviving, or do you think it could take some time before things go back to being normal?
You know, it's like a quarrel between siblings, and you know, you do kutti for a while, you don't talk to each other, but eventually we are all the same. We are all humanity.